Hello everyone. In the last session we discussed about the various time series method. Now in this session we'll be discussing those in detail. I request everyone to be ready with your FSI sheets and pen because this session involves much of numericals. So now let's get started. The first is the simple average technique. In this simple average technique, a set of observed values of demand for n period is calculated and it is used as the forecast for the n plus 1th period as in the immediate future. So it is generally, the calculation is very simple as it is in the case of a normal average calculation. The thing is that different periods demand will be given. If, for example, let's take into consideration if 4 periods demand is given, then the thing is that demand 1 plus demand 2 plus demand 3 plus demand 4 divided by 4 will be taken. It is like from 1 plus demand 2 plus demand 3 plus demand 4 divided by 4. The general average calculation will be done in the case of simple average technique. So the advantage of this is that it is simple to use, but the disadvantage is that it gives equal importance to very old data as well. Though the D1 is the oldest demand, even that is given the equal importance as in the case of demand 4, which is the newest one. So the oldest demand D1 as well as the newest demand D4 both get the equal importance. So this is a disadvantage to the simple average technique. Now let's move on to a problem so you can understand it quite easily. So here the question is that monthly demand of scooters in an automobile shop are given below for 1 year. 1 year's scooter demand given. So what we have to do is find the demand forecast for the next month using simple average method. The first is the simple average method. So using simple average method, the equation for simple average method is that Fn plus 1. N plus 1 is that here for 1 year the demand is given, isn't it? From 1 to 12 is there. So N plus 1 is that 12 plus 1, that is for 13th period you have to find. So Fn plus 1 is equal to D1 plus D2 plus till Dn, that is D12. Here it is D12 and divided by n. N over here is 12. So n plus 1 we can take it as Fn plus 1 is F13. 13. Then the average have to be found. D1 is equal to 12, D2 is equal to 18, D3 is 24. Add till the 12th period and then divided by 12. So D1 plus till D12 divided by 12. Here you will get the summation, that is 264 by 12, and the final answer is 22. So F13, that is n plus 1 is equal to 22. Hope you understood this. The calculation is as simple as you find an average. Now moving on to the next method, that is the n period moving average technique. In the case of n period moving average technique also, the similar calculation as in the case of previous moving the simple average technique will be used. Also you can see that the equation is also almost similar, but the thing is that instead of n it is number of period. The number of period will be taken into consideration. For example, we can say that if in the question it is given that for 3 months, then only that 3 will be taken into consideration. When you do the problem, you can understand it more easily. The advantage is that it is simple, but disadvantage is that care to be taken for data selection. When you're selecting the data, you have to be utmost careful. So the question remains the same. Now using n period moving average, here it is given that the monthly demand for scooters in an automobile shop are given below for 1 year. 1 year it is given. You have to forecast the demand for the next month using the simple average method you have already done. Now coming to B, that is the 3 months, 4 months and 5 months moving average. 3 months, 4 months and 5 months moving average have to be calculated. So when such a question comes, the thing is that first make a vertical table, that is like this. Draw the rows and columns. First write out the month. Since it is to be forecasted for the 13th month, till 13 you have to mark it down. Then write the corresponding demand. Your first month 12 is there, 18, 24, 5, write it down. Then coming to the 3 months moving average. 3 months moving average will be taken into consideration as this. First 3 months will be calculated, that is the first month, second month plus third month. So 12 plus 18 plus 24 divided by 3. What you will get is 18. That will be the demand forecast for 4th month. Write it over here. Now moving on to the next n period moving average. So when you are moving to the 5th month, how you will be calculating is that second period 18 plus 24 plus 28. 18, the first 12 is avoided. The next 3 will be taken into consideration. So 18 plus 24 plus 28 divided by 3. That you will get 23. The answer is 23. So 5th month will be 23. Now when you are predicting for the 6th month, so 6th month when you are taking into consideration, only the last 3 months will be taken into consideration. So that is the 3rd month, 4th month and the 5th month. So 24 plus 28 plus 36 divided by 3. The first 2 months are omitted. Then you will be predicting it for the 6th month, that is 29 you will get. So when you predict for each and when you are moving on to the next month, the older data will be omitted. That's how you will calculate the average using n period moving average. The same thing if it comes for the 4th period. First the thing is that the first 4 will be considered, that is 12 plus 18 plus 24 plus 28 divided by 4. That you will get for the 5th month. 20 has been marked. Then the thing is that when you are forecasting it for the 6th month, the first month you will be avoiding it. So 18 plus 24 plus 28 plus 36 will be taken into consideration divided by 4. So 6th month you will get 26. That's how you will be calculating for the n period moving average. So the thing is that when you are moving on to the next period, the older data will be omitted. Hope it is clear to you. So till the 13th month you have to predict it such a manner. If 5 months come, the first 5 months will be taken into consideration. Then for the 6th month you will be predicting it. Then when you are predicting it for the 7th month, what you will do is that 2nd month, 3rd month, 4th month, 5th month and 6th month will be taken into consideration. Then you will predict for the 7th month. Then when you are moving on to the 8th month, the first and second will be avoided. Then 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th and 7th will be taken into consideration and 8th month will be predicted. So that's how you take into consideration for n period moving average. Now moving on to the last, that is the weighted n period moving average technique. In this weighted n period moving average technique, the formula is given as Fn plus 1 is equal to W1 d1 plus W2 d2 plus Wn dn. The thing is that a weightage is given to this. So this is what the equation is. Now trying to solve the problem, it is much more simpler. The same question. The thing is that in this you can see that calculate the weighted moving average for 13th month taking the weightages as 0.1, 0.1, 0.2, 0.2, 0.3 and 0.1 for 7th month to 12th month respectively. So 7th month to 12th month you have to take into consideration. So from 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. This 6 have to be taken into consideration, and the equation is given as W1 d1 plus W2 d2 plus Wn dn. Here 6 are there, so W6 d6 will be there. So the weightage is that here W1 is equal to 0.1, again W2 is equal to 0.1, W3 is equal to 0.2, again W4 is equal to 0.2, W5 is equal to 0.3 and W6 is equal to 0.1. Now directly substitute in the equation. W1 is 0.1 and D1 is 21. So 0.1 into 21 plus W2 is 0.1 and D2 is 42. From the equation, write it substituted. Then W3 is 0.2 and D3 is 15. Write it. So substitute it, find the value, and the last answer will be 17.9. that is, we are rounding up it to 18. So F n plus 1, for here the n is 6, isn't it? So 6 plus 1, that is 7. F7 is equal to 18. So this is how we get your weighted moving average. In here the thing is that in the question is itself the weightages will be given, you have to just substitute it. Hope it is clear. So this is it about the moving average techniques. I hope all the 3 techniques are clear to you. Thank you.